Hello, today I'm going to review a movie from India from 2023 called 12th Fail. And it's one of the most popular movies uh, from India in recent times. And I saw some kind of debate online about how highly it's ranked on sites like IMDb. So if you don't know, IMDb is a movie rating site and it has like a list of the top 250 movies of all time, and that is based on the number of ratings given and the height, the like, so for example, if you have a movie like this where it's rated like 9 and 10 million people rank it 9, it's going to be much higher than other movies. And I think on the IMDb top 250, it's like the fifth, sixth ranked movie. And so a lot of people online are debating, like, well, is that fair? Like, why should Indians make a movie that only Indians watch to be the most popular? And they're bad because they're Indians or whatever. I don't think that it's unfair. I think that the system is the way that it is on that site. So you can find sites where the ratings are a bit more objective. Well, that's actually objective. I mean, they're a bit more subjective, so you can find movies that you like. So I think the principle is fair, but I understand the criticism because this movie is not good. And a lot of movies on that list are not good, in my opinion. Like, I think the best example is a movie like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But where 12th Fail differs from a movie like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is that The Good and the Bad and the Ugly is considered to be a classic movie. And it's been considered to be a classic movie for many, many, many years. And 12th Fail, as I said, came out in 2023. So it would have to be a really brilliant movie to really be one of the 250 top movies of all time. And unfortunately, it's not. I think it's a really bad movie for many, many reasons. Um, but I think my primary reason for not liking this movie is kind of political, if that makes sense. And I'll tell you what I mean when I move my cranky chair. Um, so the movie is propaganda. It's propaganda supporting the idea that cops in India are great and the system is great. You just have to be honest. And the movie is actually based on real life. So it's based on a man who grew up in a very poor environment and he decided he wanted to be a police officer. And so he sits this very difficult exam. The exam process lasts about like 2 years if you pass. There's like preliminaries, then there's mains, and then there's an interview. So you get about six fails in total. So he, I don't know, 12. The movie is, the title comes from that. I don't know exactly how many times you can fail, but there's a limit to how many times you can fail. And the movie makes it like, yes, it is worthwhile that people have to sacrifice this to get this kind of job. And the movie does do a good job of showing you uh, the social conflicts between different classes and different castes because it's really hard exam. But the movie never says that this system is actually bad and it invites corruption. And the movie never says, like, the problem is not having police officers who are honest, the system is dishonest, and that invites corruption. Because basically, I'm not like an expert in Indian in the Indian legal system, but they inherited this from the British government that was in control of India before independence. So that wasn't a perfect system, clearly. And the system needs to be reformed so that people don't have to bribe people just to get what they need and stuff. So I think that the movie, movies don't need to take political positions, but I think for a movie to be good, you need to believe in the political position of the movie within the movie itself. What I mean by that is like you can watch a movie that has like a socialist critique of society and not even be a socialist, but as long as they use the tricks of movie making well, you're gonna follow along on that journey. Or if it's a capitalist critique of society or whatever, you're gonna follow along on that journey as long as they use the tools of movie making well. And in this case, they don't use the tools of movie making well. It's just basically like poverty porn. So this guy is poor, he suffers, and because he's morally virtuous, he wins in the end. Right? Because the morally virtuous will win in this world. And obviously that's not true. And I think that there are very nice parts about the movie. It's really interesting to see an Indian film from my perspective. I've watched a few, but the movies I've watched have been either like really old or kind of over the top. Like I watched one, I forgot what it was called, but basically the guy dies and he comes back as a fly and he's trying to get revenge on people as a fly. So I haven't watched all Indian cinema, and it's like a very interesting area to examine. So it does show you things that those other kind of movies wouldn't, and that's great. Like it shows you all of these like little small details about what life in India is like. Like if they talk about having a rickshaw, and for me a rickshaw is always like a non-motorized thing, but it's like this weird contraption, so kind of unusual, kind of interesting to see that that's what people actually use. So I think that's good. And there is like a funny moment where this the main character's father, there's a scene where there's some kind of confrontation and the father throws a shoe, and the character is like, I can't believe you threw a shoe at me. And he throws a second shoe. And then later his son is in a similar situation. And he throws a shoe. And like the guy's like, oh, I can't believe you threw a shoe at me. And he throws a second shoe. So that's really, really good. But the movie itself is just not that good. It doesn't deserve to be. Like, I understand that Indians really, really like the film. It speaks to a lot of Indians' feelings about their own country. But yeah, I don't think that it's a good film. And I am looking forward to watching films from India more, because obviously I'm going to be watching a lot of films. I'm trying to be the most prolific reviewer of all time. So if you're an Indian and you really love Indian films, maybe give me some recommendations in the comment section, and I will watch them. I'll put them on the list. I have a few other Indian films to watch, like Three Idiots and stuff, but my goal is to have 15,000 reviews. So obviously Indian films are a huge part of the history of cinema. So I would love to find an Indian film where I was like, yes, this is great. Thank you for recommending this to me. So thank you for doing that. Nobody's done it yet, but I think people will. My last things before I go. My goal is to have 100 subscribers by the end of Christmas, and it's the beginning of November now, and I have 190 subscribers, so I think I can get 10 more. I also have started a Patreon, so if you like what I do and you want to support it, check out the details in the link in the description. It's basically like a role-playing kind of thing, so I think it's kind of a unique way of doing a Patreon. Also, if anybody actually ever signs up for the Patreon, I will donate 50% of everything gathered to charity, and you can decide what charity we'll choose. All right, so thank you for your time. Bye bye.